how are we? It is Zeroleth Eternal, giving you a random flow state situation from the brain, but anyway, or from the heart, or whatever. uh, we've had a uckily, slushily snow day today. Forgot to check the weather, didn't even know. I had enough time to run out when I woke up to bring up the windshield wipers. But nothing stuck anyway. It probably would have been fine if I'd left it. But anyway, I'm on my way for my regiment of weekly raw milk supply, so I can go brag to vaccinated idiots about how fucking strong and healthy I have been for the last fucking 4 years. You know, a lot of people, the vegans, have made an argument about the problem with having mammal milk after a child has come of age. You know what I mean? You know, basically keeping the whole thing within mother's milk, effectively. Right? There's the breastfeeding period, but then after that, nope. Because vegans, right? Because it's kind of crazy to me. I mean, like, veganism, largely comes across as like PETA's like redheaded stepchild, that the two don't talk to each other, right? You know, because one can get kind of embarrassed by the other, per se, or at least one is embarrassed by the other. Because I'd say that if there are cows that are happy cows in domestication because they're cows, and they're just going to be out to pasture as how they would be in nature, thus no violation of natural law. In fact, the pen's not even there to keep the cow in. The pen is there to keep poachers out. Or just to keep the cow from getting run over on the road, etc., etc. That's all that's really going on there, right? Because the cow wants to be there. It's happy. The food is easy. It has no idea whether it has no idea that the man is predatory. I mean, I think they do have a little bit of an idea. Like, here's my one, here's like, everybody wants to argue about every little thing. We see forward. That's hunter quality, is to have your dual vision forward facing. Look at owls. Owls, I believe owls have to turn their head because their eyeballs don't even roll. That's how fucking fixed they are. Where they face is where they see. I can look left and right and up and down. I can do that without moving my head. Then I can go like that and go like that. But I can only go that far, and I can only peer back. So, the owl can look directly behind its head, pretty much. It's amazing how fucking far around it can twist itself. But anyway, here's my point about health and this is milk in general, right? People can say what they want to say. It's just like, broski, the only reason why we're pasteurizing milk is so it lasts longer than a week and a half. That's it. That's the only fucking reason. And that's a decent fucking reason, considering what has happened to our milk supply in lieu of how we have lived. Right? The size in which we have lived and the distance from the source we live. You know, we live in a place where cows are many miles away. Some, you know, it's just like there's definitely cows producing milk in this state, but none of that's a priority. You go to the store, I mean, like, you gotta pay attention to the label. And, you know, maybe 10% of the milk in your store will be locally sourced. That's how bad our system is set up as a necessity. And especially because we didn't want to talk about what we would want to do to preserve various natural ways of life. I mean, people want to ignore the fact that we're a sicker society than we were in the 19th century. And anything else before that, we were a sick society because either we were surviving or some sort of infrastructure was spreading disease and preventing us from living in a natural state, i.e. the plagues, so on and so forth. Various induced famines, all sorts of byproducts of the conflict of the time and the slow warfare. Sorry, Ares has burned down another building. My apology. I'm kidding. Anyway, so there's acid in milk, lactic acid, as we know. Vegans have said that the lactic acid actually breaks down your bones. Correct. So does impact. Makes microfractures in the bone. Just like lifting weights makes micro tears in your muscles. Micro cracks in your fascia. Whatever. That's the process. That's the pain to strength process. You are inducing stress on the bone to reinforce it. You have some lactic acid. The lactic acid eventually gets to the bone, breaks into the bone, and then it stops getting acetized as you return your body back to its usual base level where the bone is at ease and can heal. Your bones do heal. Your bones actually have a healing factor. You don't know that. They can structurally repair themselves, and that structure will get reinforced. Right? Because your body's at its strongest when you are fascist with it. Because literally fascia can have a lot more to do with strength than muscle size. You know, this gets to the point of things like striking power. The guys with the biggest arms don't have the best strike. They can have devastating striking power, but you only need so much striking power. You can overkill it if you fucking want. It's impressive, but you've used far too much power than necessary to knock a motherfucker out. Bruce Lee could probably strike you at 50% and knock you out. And also, because of his fascia reflex conditioning, can actually fucking pull that off accurately. Understanding how to fucking strike at 50%. And it's not just about speed. I mean, it's a lot about speed, but you get my point. Because that speed, you have to also have the force tension impactability. That requires an incredible amount of consistent fucking whatever. Like, you know, it's just like, I don't get into enough fucking training rounds to fucking feel good about much of what I feel like I am capable of in a fight. Not a fighter, but I'm a warrior. that may have to fight. Because not all wars are fought in a fight. Because, examples and allegories and symbols and etc. Right? That kind of war. But, listen, violence is always on the table if you want to get anywhere in life. And believe me, that's what reduces the violence, is putting it on the table. And knowing when to put it on the table. But making sure that people know that they should assume it's in your pocket. So yeah, that would be the primary reason why bones actually increase bone density, because it does to your bones what causes your body to build the bone density by doing micro damages to the bones. That's the same thing in construction. If you're gonna improve the building, first you have to do demolition work to get into the structural guts of the fucking machine, right? You break through the fucking drywall and you get to the steel or the wood, you get to the frames and the wall itself, the actual physical, like, solid structure. This side to that side is 2 inches to being outside, right? And you're destroying all of that, and then you're taking out what's not as strong and putting in something stronger, and then rebuilding. So yes, right? That's pretty fucking reasonable causality, alchemical, or at least chemical. Like, I don't even need to talk about alchemy. That's just chemistry. This chemistry will tell you that. Alchemy is appreciating the transformative process. Alchemy is, chemistry is just about, math. Measure this amount of fucking molecule to that amount of molecule. And watch everything rearrange itself. Oh, what fun. Meanwhile, I got motherfuckers 200 years ago making homunculi. How's it going, everybody? Hey, Core! How you doing, Core? Didn't recognize you there. And hi, everybody else. So yeah, I mean, listen. Human beings are chimeras. We're chimeras, okay? This is a big part of it. There's all sorts of little bits and pieces. This is why, whether you love an animal or not, or see yourself in an animal or not, there's all sorts of animals that reveal human traits on certain levels. Insects will show you human traits on almost a collective level. You will see you'll see fucking military discipline on a behavioral scale with an ant colony collective. It's fucking cool, right? And that's just as human as that look on your dog's face when he loves you. Okay, it's just as fucking human. And some sects of Buddhism say that it takes a whole colony for one human soul consciousness to be held, right? So that means each ant is like a spark of that soul and has its own thought that belongs to the whole of it. So anyway, I think that's good for now, because I'm about to turn the corner into a notorious dead zone because there's always this dead zone on the last stretch of my milk trip. So I will catch you guys later. Hey, what's up, Peaceful and Timony? Good to see you guys. All right, I'll catch you guys soon. And I'm trying to cook on what I want to do next. I'm plowing through Dune Messiah. I don't know how many pages I got left, but it's it's not a thin strip of the book, but it's not a thick strip of the book. All right, I'll catch you later.